Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, please like, share and subscribe, and kindly note that I have done a series of videos useful for the RCGP AKT exam, including how my study group achieved 100% pass in this exam recently. Also, videos on how to access free RCGP resources for the AKT exam. Please like, share and subscribe. Feel free to drop a comment. If you are a GP registrar who's also passed the AKT, please share some advice in the comment section. In this video, I'm going to talk about some advice that has been given by the Royal College of General Practitioners for the Applied Knowledge Test, also known as the AKT exam. So this is recent. It was given based on January's exam as well as exams within the last 12 months. Therefore, if you are yet to take the exam or considering taking this AKT exam in 2023, you should watch this video to the very end. So like I said, this feedback is given by the RCGP and none of this information is from me. However, I've tried to analyze this document. I have highlighted advice and improvements noted in the exam in green, and as much as possible, areas which have been highlighted as weak by the RCGP in pink. So as it says here, it says that the feedback is intended to be helpful to those in education and training, particularly associates in training themselves. The information here is available on the RCGP website, as well as frequently asked questions. I'll drop some of the links in the bio, so please do have a look. So in this section of the document, it summarizes the performance of candidates in the last exam. As you can see here, the least score was 35 and the highest was 189 out of 200 questions, with a mean overall score being 144.64. That's 72.32%. That is quite significant. That means that anyone aiming to take the exam should aim for high 70s at least to pass the exam. So as we know, the exam is broken down into clinical knowledge questions, evidence-based or statistics questions, and organization and management section. If you've not watched my video on how I passed the exam with my study group members, please do that. It explains what the exam entails. So the RCGP has also highlighted below areas of good performance as well as areas where there's room for improvement. And they have given some advice as well, which is very, very useful, and I believe that's very kind of them. So areas of improvement, they noted that candidates performed better in questions relating to dermatology prescription, management of musculoskeletal symptoms, simple calculations, that's statistics, and there has been continued improvement since the AKT in October, confidentiality principles and issues as well. Now, areas causing difficulty for candidates. I believe we need to take a good look at this section, pay close attention, because who knows, they may repeat questions from these areas. So there is a summary of areas causing difficulty in AKT 47, that's AKT in January. First is side effects of drugs used for long-term conditions. There's also antimicrobial stewardship, prescription for long-term conditions in children, childhood development, cancer diagnosis, management of eyelid conditions, that's ophthalmology, management of asthma, contraception with teratogenic drugs. So under improving quality, safety, and prescribing, they noted that questions concerning important side effects of some of these drugs were not answered well by candidates. The RCGP has therefore signposted GP registrars to introductory sections of BNF chapters and long-term condition guidelines, stating that there are resources available for candidates to familiarize themselves with this area of knowledge. This is worth noting, I believe. Candidates were also noted to have difficulty with questions around antibiotics for treatment of common clinical problems. So, in relation to specific antibiotic treatment for conditions, the performance was quite poor. It might be worth noting, checking NICKS guidelines for choice of antibiotics for various conditions. You never know. There may be questions from that subsequently. Candidates were also noted not to have performed well with questions concerned with prescribing some long-term conditions in children. So prescription for long-term conditions in children. And they have stated that the BNF for children is a useful resource for reference for this. Next, candidates were noted to have had difficulty identifying abnormal child development. Therefore, it might be worth revising developmental milestones. Candidates had some difficulty with scenarios or photographs where the correct diagnosis was a type of cancer. So these are pictures of cancers. It might be worth acquainting ourselves with common cancer conditions. That's photos of these. Unusual skin lesions or rashes in the genital area may also be cancerous, particularly if they have not responded to treatment used for more common conditions. So this may be a tip for answering some questions. Eyes and vision, ophthalmology. As we noted earlier, they did mention difficulty answering questions relating to management of common eyelid problems, including any self-management advice, which might be appropriate. Now, under respiratory health, they have noted that candidates should be very familiar with prescriptions for stable disease management and also review of treatment for chronic conditions and management of exacerbations.